I don't know what TikTok is doing. Let's just... Oh, with the dumb shit.
About to say it just made you restart.
Yeah. I don't feel like it. Sorry, TikTok.
They can't hear you.
Do you wanna ride with Sammie? What you want me to do? Come on and slide with Sammie. Do you wanna ride with Sammie? What you want me to do? Come on and slide with Sammie. Sippin', I'm 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 sippin'.
That was
This
lazy.
is Sippin' with Sammie. I am Mr. Fly Shit Only, the one and only Sippin' with Sammie, Sam Malone, Barstool Rug. If you ain't sippin' with Sammie, you ain't sippin' right. Please get your fucking life together.
Damn, Sammie, you done fucked up.
Thanks, Sammie.
Yeah, boy.
Yup! What's up with y'all, man? Happy Tuesday, happy hour, all that flyness. We are here. We are in the situation. It has been a while.
It has.
It's been a while. I just seen it the last time we was up here. We was doing a fantasy draft. That was a while ago.
Yep.
But the WNBA fantasy draft is on and popping with our little squad, our little tournament going on. But how y'all feeling? What's going on with y'all? Hopefully everything is good. Everything with me is a roller coaster for the last week or so, but we'll get into that. But I brought Kay with me. Kay is in the building.
Hey! I'm here.
What's up with you?
You know, living the dream as always.
I hear that. So, like I said, we ain't been here for a while, so we wanted to give y'all something real quick. We know it's last minute. A lot of basketball on tonight. You know we tapping into most of it. We gonna miss a little bit of it sitting here talking to y'all though. But that's all good. You starting with the recaps?
Yeah, we might as well.
I guess you can start it.
Oh, I thought you was gonna start it so I could check the sound.
Alright, let me start the recap. First and foremost, like I said, it's been a roller coaster ride. Right before the weekend on Thursday, I believe it was, Thursday, I got a phone call that a friend of mine, Tracy Powell, had passed. Not too many details, whole lot of emotion, and I was on my way to go to work. So, needless to say, I wound up going to work and they sent me home. They let me go. They let me roll. What's up with y'all in the chat? So that started my weekend on the down a little bit. Knowing that I had to work the rest of the week, and then this weekend I would be off, and I was going to a ceremony to be congratulated and awarded and, recognized. Shout out to Tweet Urban Elegance Award ceremony. Had a great time. The new trophy is fire. So that was love. Went shopping that day. Went to the award show fresh. And was going shopping for GP just because it was birthday season, but wound up actually getting fresh for the joint. So that was cool too. Had a great time. Was around a lot of awesome people. It's always dope, I always say, to be at these award shows, especially in Philly, because we have so many talented and dope people that you get to see all your folks and meet some real thorough people and just celebrate good people. And a lot of times these rooms are predominantly black, and we talking about entrepreneurs and all type of things. What's going on? Yeah, it's popping again. But so I had a great time there. Shout out to everybody that was there. The pictures are on the gram. Actually, the thumbnail is one of the pictures from that evening. I had to leave early because I had company coming by to celebrate with me. Shout out to them. They slid through. And then Sunday, I woke up with the bright idea. I said, you know what? I ain't caught up with Mom Dukes. And I've been trying to catch up with my mom since February. I've seen her, but we ain't been able to go out, hang out or nothing. So I told her, I knew she was at church, and she kept repeating that, you knew I was at church. Well, you was texting me back. But convinced her and Dad to come through. They slid through the crib. We went out to lunch. They came back after lunch, hung out all daggone night. And according to my mom, even up till today when I spoke to her, she had a great time. My dad, I think, was a little tired, but I'm sure he enjoyed himself. So that was good. That had me in good spirits. And then the next day would be Monday, when was my actual birthday yesterday. You know what I'm saying? And I had to work. And I was like, you know what? It's about nothing. It's a holiday. It's Memorial Day. I'm about to get this double the pay. I'm going to work. I done had a good weekend. And I went to work, and I wound up with a very sweet designation. I didn't have to work too hard last night. But the flip side of that is, when you get this designation, you don't get off work on time. So I got off early this morning when I should have been off by 10, 11 o'clock last night. And I popped up early this morning to go to a doctor's appointment. I don't know if y'all can see it or not. I've been having reoccurring eye situation. I've been getting blood work and stuff done. So today they told me what it was, which is good and bad news, because it's something that's contributing to this, and it has to do with my spine, strangely. And then but at least we know what we trying to attack now, so I can stop going through these nut ass red eye situations. It's crazy. So like I said, roller coaster for me, but I'm good. I'm in good spirits. Shout out to everybody on Facebook, Instagram, text message, inbox, DMs that showed me love these last couple days. People are still posting on my page right now. Whole lot of belateds and sorry I'm late. I love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. But other than that, okay, you back? You good?
Yeah, I'm gonna try one more thing to get this soundboard sounding right, because the popping's gonna bother me, so I know it's bothering you. And by you, I mean the people.
What weekend recap?
Weekend recap. I hung out with the birthday boy all weekend. But my weekend actually started early. I had off on Thursday and Friday of this last week. So I had an extra long weekend, and it was great. I got some much needed relaxation. My parents came down, and we had lunch together. Yeah, all around it was a good weekend. Nice weather, couldn't complain. It wasn't raining like it has been, so it's been nice. Did not want to go back to work today, but that's okay. I made it through.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Yep.
Now, what we doing? Where we at?
Where are we at?
And once again, thank you to everybody that hollered at me. I didn't tell anybody publicly about my loss, but the love that y'all gave me for what y'all was reaching out for definitely helped me when I was, dealing with something that was kind of heavy. So I appreciate y'all. And rest in peace, Tracy Powell.
Can you test
not
this? I was gonna say I don't.
Yeah, I just tried it.
Okay.
Rest in peace, Tracy. A real one, a brilliant young lady, and my whole news feed was tore up about that. But it's all good. And now I ain't gotta worry about taking off from work.
Oh, you gotta do the setting thing. Can you do it this time?
No. It's not even up there. It's not up there. I think it went blank. You don't believe me?
No, I just know how to get there.
It's usually right there, right?
Yeah, but I've also taught you how to get here.
Because I saw it do something when it went off. There you go.
Well, we're working.
Alright, so we good, man. Like I said, it's my birthday, so you know what I'm saying?
That part.
I got buttons and stuff. I know how to play this game a little bit.
That part.
Alright.
What do you want to start with?
Let's start with Absol Response.
Okay.
Start with Absol Response. So, right before we went on stream, actually a couple hours ago, but I was running around, I saw that Soul Burger replied to all the things that's going on with the Joey situation. It wasn't really a Joey diss. It was like he was just running down perspective and his take and from his position because
Now, hold on. You know we have international viewers.
Okay.
They need more background than that.
All right, so there's been a battle going on, back and forth, lyrical battle between Joey Badass and a lot of people on the West Coast. Joey Badass added Loaded Lux to his team, and Kai Cash and a few other people jumped in from the East Coast. But a whole lot of West Coast people hopped in. AZ Chike, Daylight, Reason, who I'm missing? It's a lot of people. Jumped in it and responded to Joey Badass. And this has been going on for a little over a week. Actually started months ago when Joey Badass said too much West Coast dick licking, which I don't even think that the West Coast realized wasn't the original line. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was strange. But it picked up momentum when Reason responded and Ray Vaughn responded. And a lot of good records came out of it. But ultimately, a lot of people agreed, including a lot of the West Coast people that didn't want to be biased, agreed that Joey beat everybody.
Okay.
So how did you feel about that part? Up until that part, what did you think about the battle?
If I'm being honest, I haven't been paying all that much attention.
Mm-hmm.
I heard... What was the one that has the video where Joey Badass is actually rapping with the bull?
Oh, that's the what's the Red Bull freestyle?
Yeah, I caught that one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to the Reason one on the day it came out because Reason shows up in my Spotify a lot, and since he had dropped it, it just like automatically populated as one of the songs that came up that morning. So I heard that one, which I thought that one was a good listen. It was Reason, you know.
Rapping.
Yeah, it was Reason rapping.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I heard the Daylight stuff.
Some of it was dope. Some of it was... The first song he put out was underwhelming because it really didn't say anything. It just showed that he could rap over a beat. But after that, he started getting more direct and precise, and the records came out a little better. But he did a lot of records where it's like, I be in New York. You know what I mean? Even the videos was like all of him being in New York, in the studio, in the streets of New York, and him standing in the middle of a park with Tim's on. So it was Daylight being Daylight. He did good.
Okay.
He did good.
What I liked about this battle overall is that it was like friendly. It was a friendly battle. Like nobody was really beefing or mad at each other. Like it was like we're just gonna compete for the spirit of hip hop. You know, the way that we compete in hip hop. So I like that.
We thought that the Drake and the Kendrick joint was gonna go like that. We thought they was gonna try to out nice each other and that would be it.
Yeah, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, with this one, what's crazy is, and I'm a little disappointed, and I hate to say it, the AD and pun tweets. Like, if y'all really don't like the West Coast and y'all hate us that much, then don't call me when somebody rob you or when something happened to you, or don't come out here. Like, what? Everybody else was rapping.
Here's my
and
take.
You ain't even rap.
Here's my take. Because they are in the position that they're in terms of West Coast media right now, I feel like they feel this larger pressure to like push back against East Coast influence in a way that like isn't necessarily representative of the hip hop scene, but is more representative of the hip hop media scene. Does that make sense?
It makes a little sense, but the part that we got to be genuine about, I can't say pun, but AD and T-Rell and probably a few others in that camp pattern their platforms and what they want to be and what they're trying to do after the East Coast platforms because they constantly say they ain't got none.
Yeah.
So it's like you kind of got to be realistic. Like if you admire something or you borrowing something, just like we might borrow from y'all, and the worst thing that we ever did was had a bunch of gangs over here with their street names on them.
Still doesn't make sense to me, but
and clearly they feel some type of way about it. Because they'll bring that up in a minute. So it's like, I just don't like it. I don't like how you just gotta step to the, well, don't come out here. You be loving to go to New York and Atlanta, bro. You do. And I guess you a bigger gangster than whoever else, so that makes the difference. But ultimately, it's just nonsense. It's just starting a problem. But I see Gina Views responded and said something about it. Quite a few people said something that actually, are connected to AD, and said that they didn't really think that was appropriate. But I just wanted to speak on that. But yeah, Ab-Soul's response that came out today, he said a lot of interesting things. And I only gave it one listen, but he warned some of the West Coast people that's jumping in it about jumping in it. And said they might get spanked in so many words because they not up on who's with who. He called Joey his little man, and not in a disrespectful way. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of stuff that he said was just, I feel like, just putting everything in perspective from what he was observing and the thing that he's kind of directly involved in. And he made a joke with Joey and them, like, be careful because, if Kendrick really wanted it, he would have came and got, Black Hippie. Don't make me put Black Hippie back together. He made a reference to stuff like that. So it's like, I think it's even with Ab coming up late, even though his flow was kind of, if you're not an Ab-Soul fan, it's going to be hard to get into his flow initially on the track. But he's rapping. Soul always raps. And then at the end of the record, the very end of the record, he threatens to slap academics.
Well.
And that's what I was listening to X's response to, which was very crazy. I don't know what the hell is wrong with that kid, yo.
Shout out to Noah.
Noah, what's happening? Where you been at, man? Well, we ain't been around. How you been?
He said, hey, guys, happy birthday, Sammie.
Thank you. Appreciate you, man. We turning up.
Absolutely. And Nikki was in here earlier. Nikki said hi.
Yeah, I spoke back. So, yeah, shout out to Soul Burger for his reply. Always good to see Soul rap. And when I was listening to it, one of the thoughts I had was if everybody's going to benefit from this back and forth with TDE and Joey or Kendrick and Drake or whatever, Ab-Soul deserved to throw his hat in the algorithm and at least get some of that. You know what I mean? Some of that, I didn't know who homie was, but he nice love. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All these other rappers, Reason, Rayvon, Kai Cash, are getting, which is deservedly. But I think that Soul doing it is far from a reach. It's more like, benefit from that shit. That's your momentum. That's your folks. And you bang with Joey and, you know what I mean? Rayvon and Reason. Well, I don't know about Reason, but I think he's still cool with Reason. I think Reason said he still talk to Soul. So, like, yeah. Good job, fellas. A lot of good raps came out.
That's what's up.
A couple of the West Coast dudes did make Baby Kendrick songs that sounded like they was trying to make the same kind of Kendrick bop that he made during them battle with Drake. But, those ones usually fell flat. Everything else, people was just getting their issue off. And that First Daylight song was weak. Besides that, it was great. It was great. 7 people dropped in one day. Like, it was sick.
Noah said, I've been around, just came from J Tom Reactions. Shout out to J Tom.
Word. That's what's up. So where we at now?
You want to tell the people about this Gilly PG situation?
Oh, yeah. It's funny because I said the topic and the way you wrote it made me think it was something completely different. Because, he tried out for the Big 3. And that's on camera. It's hilarious.
Oh, Gilly did.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't what I was talking about.
I know. Gilly spoke to Paul George. He was on Podcast P's platform, which, for Sixers fans has always been a problem that his name is Podcast P because he hasn't produced on the court. See what I did there? But it got to the point where they started discussing playing in Philly and Philly fans, and Gilly decided that he had to get something off his chest. Kay, how did you feel about what was said, and what did you get from what was said? What stuck out to you about how that happened? And Paul George's response, because a lot of people are just hearing the clip when he said, nigga, you played as many games as you ain't played, and then it goes on to what he said after that, and they think that he's talking to Paul George. They don't realize he was referencing Embiid and then went back to Paul. So it's getting a lot of confusion online.
So, as a Sixers fan, which I know this is why you sent it over to me.
You a Philly fan like Gilly. You like all Phillies.
I sure do. I love all Philly teams.
Yeah.
Philly.
What do you say? All the way down to Drexel, Villanova, Arcadia. He love all of it.
Yeah, Philadelphia Union. I'm all about it. But as a Philly fan, Gilly said everything that we wanted somebody to say to Paul George. Like, I was not upset with a single thing that Gilly said. All of it was true. We had high expectations. We made big moves in the offseason. We thought we were going to be not just playoff contention, but like championship team.
Should be in the Eastern Conference Finals type thing.
And then it was just a domino effect. One thing after another, one announcement after another announcement, and then you get halfway through the season and you realize your big three has only played 5 games together. You finish the season having only 19 games together. And then it wasn't just the big three. I want to be very clear. Because if we had a consistent 5 that we could put on the court every night, we still would have been in playoff contention.
Y'all started 56 different lineups, I think, something like that.
And now let me give Nick Nurse his credit, because it's not his fault that his roster kept changing so drastically throughout the entire season. And some of the moves we made...
Because you got to think, even Oubre went down at one point.
Right. Some of the moves that we made will actually make us a stronger team for next year. Like, picking up Quentin Grimes was great. Justin Edwards, great. Jared McCain, our rookie, who unfortunately got hurt in the beginning of the season. Great. So there are some like high points that make you optimistic towards the future. But getting back to Gilly, he said exactly how we felt and how Philly fans still feel about Paul George.
And I think he gave him grace too.
I think he did as well.
Because he made it a point to say, man, you got to pass from knee this year because I knew you was coming in hurt.
Right.
He said that.
Yeah.
But then he told him, we ain't got shit.
Yeah.
We don't have nothing. When y'all lose, it's like losing the third cousin. He gave him the whole speech. You know he loved that third cousin speech. But I thought he spoke well. I think that similar to their show, Wallow and Gil, for comedic value, sometimes cut each other off at the wrong time, Joe.
Yeah.
And I think Wallow was kind of like trying to lighten it. And it was like, no, this could be a 5-minute clip if you just let Gilly get his shit off instead of 9 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Paul was responding in there because it was conversational. Gilly wasn't preaching to him.
I thought Paul took it pretty well, too. Like,
I think Paul knew.
He took a lot of accountability that I honestly wasn't expecting from him.
He said he came back too soon, which I think was big to admit.
Yeah, he said he came back too soon. He said his expectations were higher. Like, he thought that he was joining a championship team, and he still thinks that we could be a championship team. So that part, we'll see.
He also said he embraces the energy.
Yeah, he did.
He said he embraces that. He said,
that he likes the vibe.
Yeah, he said that doesn't bother him. And I've heard people say that. And then we see, how they play after things go bad.
Right.
I believe him.
Well, I mean, he's probably getting a lot of shit right now from Philadelphia in general. So if he's able to make it through after this year, because, like, I wouldn't be surprised if Paul George gets booed in the beginning of next season. Being real, like, this is Philly. That's what we do. We boo people.
But I feel like he understands that and wouldn't be surprised either, and that's what I like about his his statement.
Noah said, "You guys just need a few more key pieces." I believe you. I think we needed one of them Thompson twins.
Bro, the Thompson
twins
we
would have been set.
I think that you really need one piece, and I think that you have a lot on that bench. That bench is full of people that, one, you could trade because a few of them do the same exact thing as the other one.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of spark off that bench, and 1 or 2 of them actually deserve to start, especially if we're going to sit down big fella until you get healthy. They might have to start.
Well, I think that's
what's
part
my
of the
man
problem.
From France name? Big homie from the Olympics? That's on your team? What's his name?
Oh, Yabusele.
Yeah, y'all still got him?
Yeah, we still have Yabusele.
I love him. I love Wabusele.
But unfortunately, we don't have the height.
Nope.
We got rid of all of our other bigs
And-
last year. We got rid of no, we still have Bona,
Yep.
but we got rid
Bona's
of...
a beast too.
and Bona's going to be
he's a beast
really
for like 8
good.
minutes. He got to get his weight up.
He's young. He was a rookie last year.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, you could see it in him.
Yeah.
But like, you see why they sit him back down too.
And I'm sure he was in the weight room all this offseason. Like, he's going to come back a different player.
No, he's gonna look like a specimen.
He's going to look tough.
Yeah.
We have him. We have we had Paul Reed. We traded
That's
him
my
away.
man. I wanted y'all to keep Reed.
We had Mobamba, traded him away.
Love Mobamba too.
So
Bona kind of reminds me like he could have Mobamba energy though.
I agree. Bona was getting rid of Mobamba, knowing that we had Bona coming in, I feel okay with. But I still felt like we needed a little bit of like a veteran person who could play in Joel Embiid's position, and that was Paul Reed. And without him, I feel like that's a little bit of a hole. On the other hand, we have a plethora of guards that come off the bench. We have Kelly Oubre, who, let's be real, he plays better coming off the bench. We have Justin Edwards. We have Quentin Grimes. We have Jared McCain. We have
Jared should probably start.
Ricky Council the Fourth. We had KJ Martin. We got rid of him.
I like Ricky Council a lot. He brings good energy off the bench.
I like
Great
Ricky.
energy.
He's also a good physical option that you can throw in just to like eat a couple fouls.
Yeah, he looks like he's always in the gym
Yep.
too. So he's just gonna bang.
So I think it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens with Kelly Oubre. That's gonna be something to watch this year.
And I think that, like I said, it's a lot of pieces that's expendable because they're very similar. He's one of them.
He's one that could be traded. I would not be surprised if Kelly gets traded. He's also pretty affordable right now for us. And I think he's coming to the end of a contract. So I also wouldn't be surprised if we just let his contract expire.
Especially, like, we still got to remember that Kelly had a scandal we still ain't figure out.
Yeah.
And the office knows. We just don't.
But they definitely swept it under the rug, and Philly ain't asking anymore. So we're going to keep it that way.
That thing lasted a week and a half. I was like, yo,
That
that
was crazy.
Brilliant.
Like, who is his PR people? Because we need
Where
them.
is the footage? He was in Center City.
That part. Anyway, so he's definitely somebody to watch. I think it's going to be interesting to see what we do with this draft pick, because a lot of people are projecting us to take another somewhat small, scrappy guard.
They was telling me y'all was getting a homie from Rutgers. Lil T-Mac. What's his name? That they actually saying might be better than Cooper Flag on a pro level.
I've been seeing that we're projected to get Bailey.
What's his first name?
I don't know Bailey's first name.
What's my man name? Ace Bailey. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Ace Bailey. Yeah, that's him. He ain't no ski. They compare him to T-Mac. You know how tall T-Mac is? How tall is Ace Bailey? Look it up.
Hold on. Oh, okay. He's 6'10".
That's what I'm telling you.
I didn't know he was 6'10".
You said a little scrappy guard. I'm like, that's not your prospect.
No, that was when they were talking about maybe Dylan Harper.
Okay, but Ace Bailey is long and tough.
That's what we need.
And you know, Rutgers had him and what's the name on the women's team. They got guards over there.
But we need somebody who can like come in tomorrow and be a power forward.
He would be, you know, it's positionless basketball. So he would be on the wing. He would be with what's my man name that played on OKC? Jason Williams. What's his name? Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams.
Yeah.
He would be like that. Like, he would be a stretch forward.
Or is it Jaden Williams?
He'd be a stretch forward. My man with the braids, the number 2
I know
option
you're
on the
talking
team that went crazy last night.
I think there's like 3 Jalen or Jaden Williams
so
in
crazy.
the team in the league right now.
It's
It's
so crazy. And Shea played against his cousin last night. They both went crazy. Yo.
They had to like foul he had to foul him to finish the game off.
If I showed you, well, I could explain it to you. We couldn't find the game on the hospital TV, so we watched it on somebody's phone, and there was 3 of us, and one of us was in the hospital bed.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
That's rough.
it was crazy. It was crazy, but we saw it.
Shout out to Road to a Mill Media. He said happy G-Day.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate y'all. Absolutely, that's love. That's love. I feel good. I feel good.
All right, since we just killed talking about Gilly on Podcast P, we might as well finish the rest of our NBA playoff discussion.
I've been having a great time. Even at the blowouts, just tight the game next. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, even the blowouts, like, you can't tell that it's necessarily going to be a blowout because there's been so many games this
Motherfuckers coming back
playoffs.
from down 20.
Exactly, where they come back down 20, and you're like, I turned this game off two quarters ago. What happened? So, yeah, it's been some great basketball.
Yeah, awesome
Great
basketball. Not a
basketball.
lot of defense, but awesome basketball.
What?
And then it's like
Round 1, there was a lot of defense.
Well, even when you get into certain particulars, there's people that play great defense.
Yeah.
But the score is still sound like an all-star game.
Yeah. Anytime that a team is scoring 140, you're like, wait, what?
Like, what are we... Like, even with OKC, they said OKC defense is awesome. OKC defense is tough. And they look really tough in the moment. Like, I see the games, and I'm like, yo, they everywhere. But in 2 games, Minnesota scored 260-something points.
Yep.
And it's like, well, that can't be true. Like, how are both things true in that instance? That's weird, yo. It's very weird. And I mean, maybe athleticism and skill are putting things at a level where even when they miss a lot of shots, they score at such a high rate that we just need to get used to it. But I can't really credit your defense when somebody in the playoffs gets in a conference finals gets 260 in 2 games on you.
Yeah.
And they lose one of them games. That's crazy. That don't even make sense. None of them went to double overtime neither.
No.
But that's my take on that. Where we at though?
So who do you got?
I got OKC Indiana for a very low rating finals. Nobody's gonna watch it.
I will. It's gonna be great basketball.
I'm gonna watch it too. But I'm talking about, like, you know, when you start talking about numbers with these games, you need casual fans and stuff to watch too.
Yeah. And if you don't have a big market team, that's a little bit tougher.
3 out of the 4 teams playing right now are small market teams.
I love that though.
No, it's,
As
I dig it because
a
they
team,
built. I like how they built their teams, even when Cleveland was in it, right?
and as a fan of a team who's bad, like, let me change that. As a Philly fan, there are so many teams that I could just never root for.
Okay.
Boston, New York, Dallas, sometimes LA. Like, even the Nuggets, it's tough for me. But I can root for the Pacers. I can root for Minnesota.
That's crazy. And Minnesota about to lose. The Pacers about to win. You know what I want to talk
I can
about?
definitely root for OKC.
Let's talk about last night's game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Julius Randle, 6 points, 5 points, something crazy. Anthony Edwards, 15, 18 points. You can look these numbers up. Shea, what he had? 30, 49, and 10?
Oh my god, he had 49 last night?
40
Oh.
/9
Okay.
/10.
That sounds more right.
J-Dub had 37, I believe.
34.
34.
34, 3 and 5.
3 and 5. So that's 74 points from 2 players on the opposite team. And you and your man combined for 20.
Oh, Shea had 40.
I told you that. I said 49 and 10.
For some reason, it still wasn't.
Oh, but look how much his cousin had. His cousin went for what, 34?
His cousin went for 23.
Oh yeah, 23. He played his ass off.
DiVincenzo had 21 last night.
Yeah, DiVincenzo was balling. His cousin was hooping though, yo. And it's crazy because in the press conference they was asking about him, and he was like, "That's the kind of game he can give consistently. He's a great player. Like he didn't take anything away from his cousin, which is dope. But he said it's definitely something that we used to talk about and dream about when we was kids, and you could only imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all both nice, and one of y'all might be better than the other at a time, but y'all both think that y'all can get there. So y'all like, well, wait till we play each other in the league, and then the playoffs, and the whole family was there. Like Shea Pop was sitting next to his sister. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Young boy mom. Like that's so fly, yo. And all season when I've been watching Alexander Williams games, I've been looking at the back of his jersey thinking it say Gilgeous Alexander. Because if you look at the back of their jerseys, as long as the names are and the way that it's hyphenated, they look the same. You know how if you see a certain amount of letters in a certain formation, you assume it's a different word?
I was about to say, that's your dyslexia, because it's definitely Alexander first on his.
Yeah, but if you're looking at him running down the court and you can't necessarily read the jersey,
Yeah.
it looks like the same arc that is written in.
I gotcha.
Because nobody else's name on their jerseys is a arc, a St. Louis arc.
Noah said, as a Chicago Bulls fan, I'm rooting for OKC.
OKC.
That's what's up. He also said, did you guys hear that Absol dropped a diss track to Joey Badass? Yes, we did. We talked about that right before you tuned in, so definitely hit the rewind.
A diss track, but he jumped in it. He gave his perspective. Yeah, rewind when we done, because I talked about it. And I bang with Soul, so there ain't nobody in Black Hippie I don't bang with.
He's coming to Philly soon.
We can go. I got time.
July, I think.
I got time. I got time, Kay. I got an outfit. What you want to do? Let's go see Solo. Soul Burger. 'Cause Solo is somebody else.
You want to take a break from sports?
Yeah, let's go to something else real quick. Where you want to go? Streaming University.
I was gonna say get some of the
Dark shit out.
dark stuff out the way.
Lemon Hill shooting.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I know y'all from everywhere, and you know, we from here, but we from Philly. And when I was on my way this morning from work, I actually cut through the park to get back to my job to get my car and all of that. And we cut through the park. For that time of night, it was a large police presence at anything that led to where people chill at the Platte. Right? So I'm like, well, I guess it was crazy tonight. But when I get closer to the gig, I see that Fairmount Park had a mass shooting, as they put it. What they say, 11 people hit, 2 people died.
Jeez, really?
Yeah, a young lady died.
I didn't even know about this.
Yeah, and the situation was, it was about 10 o'clock at night.
Okay.
Which I rode through, like I said, around 12:30.
Mm-hmm.
So 10 o'clock at night, which the park is actually closed at this point. But on Lemon Hill, the way it's set up, like, it's on a hill. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can park all around there. So unless they cut off the entrances, people ain't leaving until they leaving. Just like my cookouts. It get dark, we chill till we pack everything up. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, they said it was a few hundred people out there. And somebody rode by cutting. And the witnesses, the girls that was in the car that were being interviewed, they were saying everybody started running. I saw 2 people fall and stuff like that. 4 people drop, stuff like that. So, they're looking for a few people right now. The mayor was looking like she was... We good?
Yeah.
Like
it's doing the thing again.
Like she was almost in tears. And then, ironically, the councilman that from the block dedication, he was on there. And their sentiment was, we're not going to let people take our safe zone from Philadelphia. Because if you know anything about the Platte, and Lemon Hill isn't really considered part of the Platte, but it's part of Fairmount Park that we do utilize, we've been able to chill out there for years without no drama. The last time I remember an incident happening at the Platte, which is packed all spring and summer, was somebody that got ran down on because he was on a stolen 4-wheeler, and homie caught him at the plat and hit him. But other than that, it's like it's a neutral zone. You don't come down there for nonsense. Too many thorough people out there. You don't play them games. Too many kids out there. Too many young ladies walking around. You know.
Yeah.
So they seem to be very, very diligent about figuring out what happened here, and I don't know what it was over, but it's disgusting, and this is the reason I haven't had my cookout for my birthday in years. If we being honest, I didn't tell anybody. I just wasn't doing it. But the responsibility that it takes to bring a few hundred people together in a public place in Philadelphia that you can't really control is scary at this point. And I don't want to feel responsible. I've been through enough.
Why do you think I'm not throwing festivals anymore?
Like, y'all have no idea what y'all do to the people that do for y'all.
Yep.
My cookout was a reunion for people. It was a love fest. You know? And when I say love fest, I mean, damn, where you been? I ain't seen you in forever. Oh, how many kids you got? Oh, my God. Yo, we got to flick it up. Yo, take a shot. Like, yo, you tasted such and such? I made that. You know what I mean? All that love. Now it's like, man, I wouldn't be able to enjoy myself messing with some of y'all. Because I don't even know if the situation that happened, if those people was after somebody at the situation or just was wreck chasing. And from what I'm hearing about the young lady that passed, and she presented as masculine, but she was a young lady. She was an innocent bystander that was with a bunch of her friends that was trying to revive and rescue her after she was hit. And I just was imagining that part. Like a bunch of young women trying to deal with a gunshot victim. That's their friend. Right? You cute and all that. And now we about to get bloody. We scared to death. Right? Like, come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. So I came home and I watched the news reports when I got off last night. And I watched a few of the updates today. And it's just ugly. It's ugly, y'all. Pray for our city.
It's one thing that's been honestly kind of nice about us not streaming. I don't need to watch that. I don't need to. I don't need to watch those reports. I know what happens. I know what happens all the time. I'm very well aware of that. But I'm just so tired of seeing it, hearing about it, reporting on it. Like, we don't need that darkness anymore.
And rest in peace to the victims that didn't make it.
Oh, absolutely.
Prayers to the victims that we
are
don't
still
know.
Fighting.
We don't know where they got hit.
Right.
We talking about gunshot victims. You don't know who got trampled, possibly hit by a car. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All
like
of that.
A lot of stuff goes into these things. I've been there. I've been in the frenzy and in the madness and all of that. I've been in the situations where everybody start running and you decide the best thing is to stand still. So you see everything. Right? It's not fun, yo. It's not decent. And 9 times out of 10, 98% of the people that had to suffer trauma through it had nothing to do with it.
Yep. Speaking of, let's go right into the next dark topic.
Can you start that one? You know this one, right?
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
All right. So, if you are familiar with hip hop, if you're from Philadelphia, a name that you definitely know is LGB Qua. He was somebody who I can't even get my tenses right. This is such a terrible story. But he was really a bright light for the city when it came to aspiring rappers. He embraced a lot of the like street mentality. He grew up in Philly, but he was saying the right things. He was called the voice of his generation. You know, he was really making that call for folks to put the guns down and get right with their lives, and he was doing really well for himself. He's had collaborative tracks with some big names, big industry names. He has a great repertoire of music out there that you can go and listen to, and I definitely suggest you do. But unfortunately, this young man was killed here in Philly. He was
Allegedly over a chain or two.
Yeah, he was in the Hunting Park section,
On Mother's Day.
Juniata area,
On Mother's Day.
on Mother's Day. And unfortunately, people ran up on his car. 2 individuals ran up on his car that he was a passenger in, and proceeded to open the doors. The car was pulled over, parked at the time. They opened the doors, basically ransacked him and robbed him and shot him. And there's, video footage out there. Obviously, we're not going to play it because we don't do those things, but it's graphic. It's just a sad situation, and I think the whole city really felt it. There were some folks who were comparing this to the situation with Nipsey Hussle and
P&B Rock.
P&B Rock, and a lot of other great artists that we lost too soon. And it's just been very unfortunate. So
What's crazy about it to me? Quad been lit so long for doing the right thing, similar to a couple other personalities that we have that go viral in this city. But I don't want to take away from him. I remember the first time. I don't know if it was Ross or Wayne. He flew out to Miami, and he got to the airport, and they had the Phantom out there, and he was, selfie video, and we made, all of that. Like, when you like, damn, Quad going somewhere. Then you see him go to the West Coast, and you see him on certain platforms, right? And you hear platforms talk about him when he's not there. And then you look up and you find out he died. I think he died at 30.
yeah,
And we keep talking about him like and mind you, he died young. But we still looking at 18, 19, 20-year-old Quad in our head, yo. But the thing about it is, that's not a bad thing, because he didn't change his narrative. He just got better at it. So it's like, we're looking at the energy from when he was getting on, and it's like, he still was running around. There's a video that day of him leaving, his grandmother's house?
yeah, I think so.
The Ring video?
Yep.
And he's so hype, and I love you, and I'm about to, you know what I mean? And
Yep.
from what I hear, he has some things on the table. But when you are somebody that operates at his level, you got a lot of business things in play at all times. Some things come through, some things don't. But I'm just hearing that he was excited about what was coming next. Which is dope, because like I said, it's been 10 plus years of us watching this guy, to my recollection, if I'm not tripping, right?
No, you're right.
And at the same time, he still was optimistic and growing, even though I don't know if he still gets the same amount of views as he used to get before he passed, right? But he had things on the table that was still productive. It's similar to Chill Moody. Chill Moody ran around being positive, and he wound up with a Chevrolet deal, being a music ambassador for Philadelphia and all type of, like, you do the right thing, you get the spoils. And I feel like he was right there. Right there. And I don't even mean this time. I mean, this time was going to lead to the next time, but I would have loved to see Quiet 40 years old. Right? Doing whatever this grows into. So this hurts a lot. I put a post up on Facebook. I said I ain't got nothing to say until somebody give me some answers, because this don't make no sense. And the Breakfast Club talked about it. They gave his shooters donkey of the day. Clearly it was 2 of them that's caught and 1 of them that they still looking for. They put their names out there and all that. And that was today.
I was gonna say they did make an arrest last week.
But he's been up there. And he's been on, I believe, Sway. He's been everywhere. And he could rap his ass off. And other than that, like, we know Philly got rappers, right? You don't just get over being a rapper or being a positive rapper, right? He had charisma. He had swagger. He had a personality that backed his play. And one last thing I'll say about it is, I talked to OG Law at the award ceremony, because I saw that while when it was going on, OG Law was clearly shaken up by the situation because he was close to Youngin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when he broke down that how long he's been not grooming but like working with Kawhi, kind of grooming, but grooming in a positive sense.
I was gonna say that has such a negative connotation.
Yeah,
You
but
can't
it's
use that word
it's
anymore.
actually the right word though, right?
I know, it
That's
is.
so crazy, but in a positive sense, to where he said he remember when Kawhi wasn't rapping positive,
Right.
and he was good at not rapping positive,
I bet he was.
and he said he challenged him, and he said ever since then certain things have happened, and they grew to a point where he felt like when he wanted to fall back, he could hand it to Kawhi. So he hit me with the who I'm a, and I'm like, bro, that shook me up for a little bit, okay? Cause who I'm supposed to, you know what I mean? Like I gotta do that again.
Right.
Like,
I gotta
wow.
pour all the energy into somebody else.
And if y'all don't know OG Law does a lot of dope stuff for the
He does a lot for the community.
community to try to stop the violence, to give the kids safe havens, to shoot. We talking about what happened at the park last night. He stayed at the park for 100 days with the basketball hoops and the generator and
Yep.
making the food and all of that to get the kids somewhere to be safe at.
Yeah.
He did it. So
Um,
he lost his youngin, and that hurt.
Can you do the setting thing again?
All right, it's on the screen this time.
Good.
So I go to audio input device,
Output.
output device, and I hit the
HDMI.
and then what?
That's it.
Yep. So
You might have to hit OK or something. But nope, you're good. That's it. That's all you needed.
I didn't hear nothing.
Okay.
I still don't
This
hear
is
nothing.
Sipping with
I hear
Sammie.
it
I
every
am
time that you
Mr.
hit
Flash
it.
It Only.
That's crazy because it's not coming through on my end. But all right,
Hit
cool.
a different button.
I just
Okay.
hit 3 different buttons. But yeah, as far as LGP Quad, rest in peace, youngin, man.
Try it again.
No, definitely somebody that, as somebody that's older than you, I admired a lot of things in you, and I still do. I see that they think they had the ceremony yesterday or something.
Was it?
It was recently. I saw pictures, I believe. I don't want to be wrong, but I think I did. But yeah, man. That's a rough one for the city. It's a rough one for the city. Where we going now?
You want me to talk about the soccer?
And I don't want to minimize them to the city because Quad wound up being international. But yeah, you go ahead and do your thing.
All right. Let's get this out the way. All right, NWSL, National Women's Soccer League, has been lit. Let me be clear. I've been watching almost every match. If I can't watch the match, I will watch the highlights. And there's been a lot going on. So if you have not been paying attention, let me catch you up on the standings. In first place, of course, Kansas City has been holding it down. Last time I reported on them, they were probably neck and neck with Orlando, but unfortunately, Orlando has lost 3 out of their last 5 matches. So they have definitely slid all the way down to 3rd.
All the way to 3rd. Wow.
The San Diego Wave has 1 more point than them in 2nd, so it's still definitely achievable. But Kansas City has 24 points in 1st. Then when you get down to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it gets very interesting. So Washington Spirit also in 4th. They also have 19 points, so they're right behind Orlando Pride. But then Portland has 16 points, Seattle has 14 points, Angel City has 14 points, and Louisville all have 14 points. Then right below them, you have Gotham City, North Carolina, and Bay FC all sitting with 12. And again, those are still very good teams. So even though we are more than a third of the way through the season, anything can really happen. And keep in mind, only the top, I think 6 teams make it into the playoffs. It's not even the top 8. So that means that some of those bubble teams, those names you're used to seeing, might not make it to the playoffs come the end of the year. But as I've been telling you, the National Women's Soccer League is a very, very long season, so we won't find out the results of everything until about October. Now, in the meantime, the league is about to go on a break. They have a 2-week, maybe 3-week break from now until the middle of June for what the soccer, world calls friendlies, which are non-league, but it's national team matches that are set up between different national teams. And in this case, there's also the European Cup or the Copa Cup going on. So that means that a lot of the players that you're used to seeing in the league have been called up to their national team, to strut their stuff and play a couple of friendly matches. Now for us, I'm gonna pull up the newest roster. Right. So we had a bunch of first-time call-ups to the national team, which is kind of rare. It's... Why are you showing me the men's? Nobody cares about the men's soccer.
Oh.
Sorry. They don't. Not when it comes to the national team. Like I said, we had quite a few call-ups, but there were more people called up for the U23 league than there were to the actual team itself. So the team itself has a lot of names that you are probably familiar with seeing. Lynn Biandolo did get a call-up. That was exciting. She's one of my favorite players to watch right now. Alyssa Thompson and Giselle Thompson both got call-ups. They're definitely two of my favorite players. And, so overall, it's going to be fun to watch. And it's nice to see folks get their first cap, which is what they call it when you have an international game.
Oh.
Yeah, it's your cap count.
No, I thought it was about money.
No, not about money. So yeah, that's what's up with the National Women's Soccer League.
All right. Yeah, I ain't watched none of them. No, I watched like 2 games, I guess, maybe 3.
I was gonna say you're there while I'm watching it, so that counts.
I watched a couple games. So where we at now? Remy and Pat?
You can do that.
Let's do Streamer University.
Okay, we can do streamer.
You gotta open this one up. Perfect for this one.
All right, so if you've been paying attention to Kai recently,
The internet.
Yeah, or just the internet in general. He announced that he was going to do something called Streamer University and opened up applications for a short period. He got a ton of applications, as you would expect. And he ended up selecting, about 40? Was it more than that?
50 or something? I don't know, but it was a lot of them.
Around 50. 50 different up-and-coming streamers to join him at his first Streamer University. And so the way that Streamer University worked, they took over part of the college campus, had access to a dorm, classroom facilities, athletic facilities, and really treated it like a university environment. They brought in some of your favorite streamers to teach different courses, folks like DDG, Cooking with Kaya, Agent,
India Love,
a whole bunch of them. So they were teaching different courses depending on their expertise. Things like how to monetize your channel, how to engage with your chat,
yeah.
All different types of stuff. And at the same time that these classes were going on, obviously the participants were building their channels, and they were taking advantage of the exposure that being a part of something led by Kai and broadcast by Kai gave them. So it was a really great opportunity for all of these streamers. We definitely saw some folks become like breakout stars from Streamer University. So I think that's going to be fun to continue to see. But overall, I thought this was a great concept. I think that Kai very quickly realized that there's a reason reality TV shows have huge budgets, and it's mostly for the wranglers. Because a lot of things can go wrong when you just have that many people trying to make content in one space. And there were definitely some hiccups, like some interpersonal issues that arose that had to be dealt with. And those are the types of incidents that if Kai was a different personality and not so even-keeled, they could have blown up in his face. You know, there could have been lawsuit situations like what Mr. Beast has had to deal with. You know, a lot of things can go wrong in this scenario. And I point that out to say that, like, Kai is really giving back by doing this in a huge way. And that should be stated and that should be applauded and appreciated in a way that I don't know that it necessarily was by everybody that was selected for the program. There were definitely some folks who were very happy to be there, very appreciative of the opportunity, and acted that way and acted in a respectful manner. But there were others who I can't say that about. So, you know, that's definitely a learning experience for Kai, but I hope that that doesn't discourage him from doing, you know, programs like this in the future.
I think that, and I'm glad you touched on those things because that absolutely happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that it's so much positive that comes from it. One, just the idea of what he did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Monumental. Brilliant, right?
Yes. 100%.
The effect that it actually did have, the amount of people like that did benefit from it, the range of people that benefited from it. He got a lot of backlash because they thought that, oh, he picked all black people, or oh, he picked all of the same people, or everybody's already famous. I saw Tylil, and shout out to Tylil, yo. Tylil actually got valedictorian because he made it his business, since that was his man's university, to spend his time uplifting every streamer in the building.
Yep.
Everybody.
Yep.
And he prayed with homie when homie was about to eat. He blessed the food. And he looked at his stream and he said, you got 5 people on here, but that's where it starts, man. We here together for a reason. And he said, I'm going to come through, get on your stream, or come through my spot, I get on your stream. And they became friends. He said, I'm from New York, you from Chicago, man, we good. Like, he was doing that to everybody. And salute to him just for, like, being genuine and holding. I told you a week ago. I said, Tylil, like, Kai is one of the most entertaining people you're ever going to see on a live stream. But Tylil is going to go down as one of the realest.
Yeah.
It's going to be him and Duke Dennis. And Duke is up there. But, I mean, Tylil is, he just got his 1 million streamers this weekend. So he on his way, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I just think that I saw a lot of great things happen. And the situation with the female Kai, with a C, where she was getting bullied on stream because somebody else that was in the university decided to call her nappy-headed and say something about her looks. Which was weird, right? Because it was like the first day. But you saw the love she got in the hallway from Rakai, from Ray, from, was it DDG or Deshae? It was one of them.
I think it was Deshaun.
It was Deshae?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you saw Kai find out about it, and he embraced her.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you know, he on stream talking about, we twins, bitch! Like, fuck you mean? This my sister. And that meant a lot. It does a lot for her profile. But she said she got on there with, I think, 2,400 subscribers. And a day or two later, she was at like 49,000.
Good. Good for
He's
her.
changing people's lives, yo. And that was before the end of the thing. She might be at a beam by now.
Right.
Honestly. Because that was, I think, halfway through. So I just, I keep saluting this young man. He did the AMAs like the next day after the situation ended.
He definitely did.
And presented at the AMAs. It was sharp in
It was
that
like
joint.
live from the red carpet.
You got to see him getting the makeup artist to, they didn't have Beijing, so they was spraying something in the front of his hair to make his hairline darker.
Oh my God.
And he was so hyped because they got it right.
Yo.
But he was asking for Beijing. But it was crazy. So, salute to that young man. Like he said, he paid for all that out of his pocket. Another major thing that I think a lot of people are skipping over is he said Netflix, Amazon, tried to pay him a lot of money for it.
I bet.
And he said his response is, I'm Netflix in this world. And I respect it. Because what they did, 29 million streams, 29 million hours of streaming.
And he did have some good sponsors, like T-Mobile definitely supported.
Shout out to
a couple
Tone.
of other brands.
Shout out to Tone. He supported his own shit.
That too.
They had great merch.
They did have great
university
merch.
clothes. They did a lot of dope things. They had basketball games, dodgeball tournaments, the marching band, the football game, flag football. They did a lot of stuff, man. It looked like college. They had water fights all the time. Looked like college. At least the college I went to. And sometimes they went to class. Yo, the funniest videos.
And sometimes they went to class.
No, because the funniest videos is the ones of the professors that's in the classroom and it's empty. They're like, yeah, so I'm glad everybody made it on time. My class is about such and such. I do such and such. And then they pan the camera and nobody's in that show.
Yo.
And then you got other classes where certain professors was more lit, right? And Talil and them is in DDG joint just trolling. But they went to class. Speaking of which, shout out to Ant, man. Somebody called me over my birthday. Always make sure you check in with me. But I remember when we was freshmen in college, I had a class that freshmen had to take. And it was in an auditorium and it was crowded. And Ant was like, man, I'm going to class with y'all, man. I ain't got nothing to do. And it was rowdy in there that day. A lot of people was cutting up. But our section was cracking up. Like, we was laughing. We wasn't even, like, yelling out stuff. We just was bidding. So, eventually, the professor walked out. He said, I'm calling the school police. If you're not supposed to be in this class, I wouldn't be here when I get back. So, he walk out in the hallway. He come back. He make another announcement. Ant stands up like the How High movie and starts saying, you Billy D looking... something drinking, such and such and such, and just start going off on the professor from the back of the auditorium, like the top. And he's snapping and snapping and snapping. And then homie walked back out the room and grabbed the phone and like, you know, put the expeditiously on the call, right? And snuck out of that joint so quick. But it's one of the funniest things I ever seen. Because if you ever seen that scene in How High, to tear up a professor like that, first of all, it's highly disrespectful. But he was hitting. Like, every line he said was perfect. We ain't had no video camera, man. Damn it. But no, shout out to Ant. He crazy as shit. And he only did that because it wasn't his class. So, I had to move all the way down to, like, the third row before the professor came back in the class.
So that they didn't know that you was with him?
Yeah, man. I had to sign. You know how they make you sign in at the end of class?
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't go nowhere. I had to stay. I said, shit, let me get from back there because they ain't going to get on the clipboard. But no, where we at? Where we at?
We're going to the WNBA.
Let's do it. Actually, we are going to the WNBA.
That we are. All right, let's give the people some updates on the standings. We are officially a week into the WNBA season, and it's starting out lit. There's some clear teams that are dominating so far, and should be no surprise. The New York Liberty has started the season 3-0 and looking fantastic. But it's not just them. The Lynx, my Lynx, are right on their tail.
My Lynx.
4-0. It's only because I love Fee. They could be my Lynx. And Courtney Williams. There's a few players on the Lynx that I like.
Yeah, the Lynx is tough.
Yeah. So they could be my Lynx. That being said, they are 4-0 to start the season. And they look tough too. So I really think that those two teams are going to continue to dominate. And I would not be surprised to see them going head-to-head in the finals. But it's a little early to be making those predictions.
Yeah, you got to let Asia warm up the engine.
Let's talk about the rest of the standings. So, the Atlanta Dream made a lot of moves in the offseason.
Definitely did.
And it definitely has started to pay off. They are starting the season 3-2. And considering that they were at the bottom of the league last year, I think that this is a really great start for them. Considering how many moves they made over the offseason. They don't have the continuity, the team gel.
They ain't had no time to get no rhythm.
Exactly. They don't have that yet. So for them to have 3-2 really speaks to the strength of each of their individual pieces. And they have some of the best names in the league. So I would expect them to continue to do very well this season, and it's going to be fun to watch them start to mesh together. Another team that made a decent amount of moves in the offseason that has some pretty high expectations going into this season is the Fever. So they made some pretty big veteran pickups in the offseason, and so far it's kind of mixed on how that's going. They are 2-2 for the season, but they've dropped some games that, in my opinion, might have been winnable. So we'll see how they continue to play together. And unfortunately, it was announced yesterday that Caitlin Clark will be out for 2 weeks with a quad strain.
Yeah, it messed up my fantasy.
It definitely did. I felt bad for you when they made that announcement.
But I'm up 35-12 on here for the Libertine. FYI, I'm just telling you, I'm winning right now.
There's only 2 games going on right now. So.
I had a bye week last week. I ain't had no action. My bad.
All right. Also in the Eastern Conference, the Mystics are doing better than they did last year. They're 2-3. They were terrible last year, so that's going somewhere in the right direction. But let's get down to the bottom. The Sky and the Sun have yet to win a single game.
Crazy.
The Sky is 0-3, and the Sun is 0-4.
We
now,
about to go watch a blowout?
The Sun, we expected, right? Like, everybody was trying to get out of there. Nobody wanted to be on the Sun squad. Nobody wanted to play in that facility. Everybody who was left requested a trade and just didn't get one. So, we knew the Sun was going to be bad. They're up for sale as a franchise. We didn't have high hopes for them. But the Sky...
Right.
Yes, the Sky was young last year. Yes, they have a new coach. But they had some young pieces that we thought were going to make some big changes over the offseason, make improvements, start to play together. Instead, what we're seeing is that Kennedy Carter was not the only locker room issue on the Sky.
Oh.
We're starting to see some interplayer tensions playing out in these games. You can see it with the subtle eye rolls that Cordoza is giving Angel Reese when she misses baskets. I'm just saying, start to pay attention.
Cordoza started to, but see, that's what's funny. Cordoza has actually improved in that area.
She has.
So she knows that it just takes the work. You got to remember the year before her last year of college. She wasn't as efficient as her last year of college, and she's gotten better than that since she's been in the league.
Well, and she's
Angel is still flopping around.
And she's still fighting Angel for playing time.
Yep.
And that's why she's giving the eye rolls.
Well, the eye rolls come from, it's not just the playing time, it's the light.
Oh, yeah.
In another city, Cordoza's a star.
Yes.
She falls under star. Right? I don't know superstar, but she has the profile, she has the look, she has the background, the nationality. You know what I mean? To where people are intrigued by her, and she's good.
But as long as she stays in the shadow of Angel Reese, she will not get the opportunities that she frankly deserves. She would have been so well off going to the Sun.
Yep.
Like, that would have been a perfect fit for her.
I feel like she could have went almost anywhere that she was going to start at.
Yep.
If she's going to start, she's good. Because I'm impressed by her.
Yep.
I wasn't, like, I thought she was good the first time I saw her. But I thought that she had the same issue that we are exploiting for Angel Reese for the last 3 years, which is that she was flopping around and just throwing stuff up. She stopped doing that a couple years ago.
Yeah. So let's talk about the West. Let's talk about the West. I told you that Minnesota's in first. Mercury is in second. They also made a lot of big moves over the offseason, picking up Satu Sabali, as well as some others, trading Brittany Griner. But honestly, those moves look like they're paying off. They started the season 3-1. The Storm is also 3-1. The Valkyries, who everybody thought they were going to be down with the Sun, tanking in the league, they started out 2-1. They're winning games. And you know what it is? They look cohesive. And I think it's because they don't have any big star that thinks that they should have the ball all the time. So they're playing team basketball, and it's fun. It's cute. But we'll see how long that lasts them. I don't have high hopes. We'll see. They are doing better than the Aces, though. The Aces are 2-2. The Sparks are 2-3. Still waiting for Cameron Brinks to come back. But Kelsey Plum has been looking amazing. So there's that. And the Wings, another team that made a lot of big moves, had a lot of draft picks, picked up the young Paige Buckers.
I got Paige.
Unfortunately, they started the season 0-4. However, I feel like there should be an asterisk by that because they've played some of the toughest teams to start their season out. And currently, they are playing against the Sun, and they are up by 17 points in the second quarter.
But Paige is going off.
Both teams are 0-4. That's credible comparison.
No, it is, but it's like you said, as a team, they're underrated right now.
I think so, yeah. That's why I think there should be an asterisk by the 0-4.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep. All right, so that's your WNBA update. Since you want to talk fantasy...
How did you do last week? Well, that's on me. It's still on you.
Oh. I won. I won last week.
I didn't know that.
It ended up being a close matchup. Emily has some good players on her team. My team, unfortunately, has been rocked by injuries these first couple of weeks. Kalia Copper had been out to start the season. She is being reevaluated in 2 weeks for a knee injury. So she is on my injured reserve. But then Rakia Jackson, I don't know if you saw that injury, but she had a gnarly head injury.
Oh.
Yeah, she got basically knocked out of midair. And she's out with a concussion.
Oh man.
And then Tiffany Hayes, who I picked up very early on in my first week because I needed another guard. She unfortunately is also out with a broken nose. So her and Rakia Jackson should be coming back soon, probably this week.
She coming back with a face mask. She'll be all right.
Yeah, she'll be all right, but it means that I had to make some big changes.
The nose, I just don't want to skip over this. The nose is a motherfucker, though.
I know, I've broken it twice.
Yeah, because once you break it, it breaks again.
Yeah. Actually, have I broken it 3 times? I can't remember.
I think you said 3 times.
It might have been 3. But yeah, brutal. But either way, I still won last week with my matchup. It did come down to the last day, the last player. I only won by 20 points. And we're talking about, over the course of the week, you get up to about 1,000, 1,200 points or so. I won by 20. It was close. I'm not bragging that hard. But this week, I am up against my dad, who also lost last week. He's been having a rough go of it. But he is currently up 37. I have 11. I only have 1 player playing, and he has 4.
Oh, shit.
I have a bunch more folks who are going to be playing later tonight. So I think by the end of tonight, I will have a sufficient lead. But yeah, that's what's up with the WNBA.
Yeah, I had a bye week last week.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm just starting to get into the action. Paige Buckets right now is giving me 24 points tonight.
That's
Tina Charles has given me 16 points tonight. Nobody else on my side. But who's this? Is that Jaquel Jones that she has?
Yeah, she has Jonquel Jones.
Jonquel got 14 right now for her, so I'm up 40-14. You know, a little something, little something. Oh, because D Carrington has 7.
Dejanay.
Yeah, Dejanay Carrington
Oh, she's on her bench,
has 7.
so that doesn't count.
Yeah, she's.
She
on her
forgot to
bench.
set her lineup. You got lucky.
She's on her bench. So I'm good so far. We rocking.
Oh, you've Kayla McBride on your bench. She must have just gotten off injury. You
Yeah.
could still switch her with Kelsey Mitchell.
Let me see something.
You should do that real quick.
Oh now, hey now, say now, what we doing?
You figure it out?
2 slots changed.
Perfect.
Was it her?
Because you can do it individually if it's not.
No, Kayla up there.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm about to cook.
Good.
Yeah, so we rocking. That's what we doing. That's what we
Oh,
doing.
you got hit by injuries too. Kayla McBride was out last week, so good thing you had a bye.
Caitlin Clark and Brittany Griner.
I know. Those are 2 big pieces for your team too.
I was sick. I'm like, yo, what is going on in my life?
Yeah, that's rough.
But it's
That's
alright because
rough.
I had a squad and I picked up what's her name? Who you dropped? What's her name?
Cardoza.
Cardoza. I picked her up.
Yeah. I picked up Kiki Irafin instead. She's had a nice start to her
Kiki been going
season.
nuts. Kiki been going nuts.
And
yo.
she has a bigger role on her team than Cardoza does right
And
now.
they said my homegirl just got into it with Caitlin. What's her name?
Ryan Howard.
Yeah, and they said she.
That was funny.
They said Caitlin ain't built for Ryan.
No. Ryan started barking. Caitlin did one of her like those types of faces. You know what I mean? She's good for one of
No,
those.
she
like,
does that. She's passive aggressive as a motherfucker.
Yeah, but Ryan was like barking and like about to like get in her face about it.
All I'm hearing is Shade built for that action.
Yeah, Ryan was about to have that.
Yo. I love Ryan.
Me too. You know that's one of my favorites. That's why
love
she's on my
Ryan, yo.
team.
I love Ryan.
And she's been having a great start to the season too. She's been going a little ham.
But I feel like, see, and that's the thing that you don't get about professional athletes. We all want to talk about who's getting attention. You don't think about the motherfucker that's reading the back of that cereal box that want they spot. And that want to
Right.
prove that they better than them. And that knows in their heart and in their mind, whether it's true or false, that they better than them.
Right.
Right? It's like I said about Dame Lillard when he went on back on Fig, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said he the best player in the NBA.
Mm.
Now, he got hurt or whatever have you, but who am I to tell Dame that he not the best player in the NBA? He damn near is.
I was gonna say he's up there. He's definitely up there.
He up there with one of the greatest I've ever seen throughout his whole career.
He's had some
Unfortunate
injuries,
unfortunate teams,
unfortunate teams, unfortunate roles,
or injuries around his team.
Yeah.
Like Dame is that. Dame could give you 40 every time he feel like it. What are you talking about? Dame
Yeah.
pulled from half court while he tapped his wrist. Like he's stupid. So it's like you can't tell somebody like that that's at that level that they not that.
I would put like Dame and
think it's
Kawhi in a similar bucket.
But all that to say, Kawhi, Giannis, right?
Well, Giannis I wouldn't put in the same bucket because Giannis is more appreciated for his stardom.
He is appreciated, but he's the last one spoken of. And
Yeah.
that's not always fair. He's the one of the most consistent, and he gives you 150 like Westbrook.
Yeah.
Like, that's not cool, right? So I feel like there's plenty of women in the WNBA that, as talented as Caitlyn is, some of them is like, well, she don't even know this level of the game like I do. And some of them is like, well, I could do that too and I shoot more efficiently than her. Caitlyn shoots 20-something% from the 3-point.
You got to keep in mind, Ryan Howard was a first pick too.
Right. So I'm telling you.
1 year
like,
earlier. Like, she's not no name.
We get mad at the
Yeah.
coverage. We get mad at the coverage these superstars get. It's just gonna make the league better
Exactly.
because the cream gonna rise and they gonna fight. And when they see her, they gonna shove her and they gonna talk crazy to her. And she gonna have to act like she do something
Yep.
or not. You can respond on the court all the time. You can always just keep knocking it down and do your little, you know what I mean. And we'll rock with that. Cause Steph do it too, right?
Yep.
But you gotta hit them shots.
Oh, I don't think it switched for you. Can I see your phone?
What happened for my phone?
Your player didn't switch, and you only got 10 minutes
It did switch.
for today. Oh, okay. I just didn't do it on my phone.
She right there.
All right.
I'm good. 45. 45 to 14, by the way.
Just trying to save you.
No, I appreciate you, but no, I actually saw that it switched. At first, I didn't see it, and then I looked down. I'm like, oh, she on there, so I'm good. I'm good right now. So no, WNBA has everybody excited. A lot of people have made statements as like Caitlyn going down for 2 or more weeks is like, oh my god. But at the same time, it is what it is, man. Let the stars shine, and whoever already got season tickets got to show up for the game. It ain't like she what they call it in the NBA when you don't play games just cause. She ain't doing that.
Load management.
Load management. She ain't doing load management. She hurt. I just hate that it's. I hate that it's looked at because what happens is so many things get sensationalized in the media that now every time something happens we start talking about numbers, and it's like yeah the numbers gonna fluctuate, but she's hurt.
Right. She's
not saying, yeah, well, you know, I played 60 games in a row. I'm going to take the next 5 off. Like, that's not what happened. So I don't like that it's getting treated like, let's make the headline that, oh, my God, nobody's going to watch now. Do you know who is still playing? Stop being like that. The damn Summer League just went crazy. Without her.
Yep.
FYI. They went crazy. They about to open up in 5 other markets without her. And she probably going to sign on soon. Soon as she get the rest of ankles and knees. She might do something. But she already an investor, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, I just hate the conversation. I hate that it gets weird. And shout out to Channing Tatum. And on the pivot, he was making a point today when I was listening to him. And he was saying, like, yo, we just got to get to the point where, like, we acknowledge the fact that there are other elite athletes in this game. There's nothing wrong with talking about Caitlyn. There's nothing wrong with talking about the drama. But the people that know the difference between what's really going in, game out, who these players really are, need to talk about the other players more.
Yeah.
And I thought that was valid.
I think so, too.
I thought it was fly. I thought that, like, he said it so many times, so many different ways that it's like, that's how we be feeling. That's why we talk about it damn near every time we go live, right?
Absolutely.
That it's like, no. Have you ever seen Asia Wilson? Have you ever seen Cynthia Cooper? Have you ever seen Cheryl Miller, which a lot of us, we don't have a lot of footage of her, but damn it, if she played in the WNBA, she'd have been Jordan.
Well, and I want to point something out for the people, too, because there's a lot of new WNBA fans, which is cool.
And we love it.
We love it.
We love it. Buy more hoodies and T-shirts and tickets.
But let me explain something to you. There's only 3 rounds to the draft total, right?
Right.
38 players drafted this year.
How many teams?
13? 12? 13?
Valkyrie's playing right now. What did they make? 13?
I think they were the 13th.
Okay.
So, 13 teams. In total, I think under 12 players, rookies, made the roster. Period. There are less than 12 rookies in the league.
After 3 rounds of drafting for 13 teams. So that's 30 plus players, and which is a slim slice of who's nice, right?
30 plus players that have proven that they can win in college, are already big names, came with big NIL deals. Like, these aren't slouches. These are star players that you thought were going to make these teams and be stars and be the future of their franchise that just got cut.
And now 70% of them go overseas, and the other 30% work out and figure a way onto a team or work out until they get an opportunity.
Yes.
That's what it is now.
Yeah.
Right?
But I feel like that's worth staying because that kind of
that's
speaks
why the
to...
WNBA teams are full of superstars.
That speaks to the stardom that is the WNBA. Like, you have... Not only is America the home of basketball, and arguably, not even arguably, the best country at basketball, period, full stop. But on top of that, you have all of the international players trying to come to this league because they know that it's the creme of the creme de la creme, shall we say.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only 13 teams.
And it's
12
spots.
people per team at maximum. Some teams only have 11 because of salary cap.
I just saw something about them wanting to expand how many people on the rosters, but that's not even fair.
But like, there's no G League. There's no feeder teams that you can just like get sent down to. Like,
That's what we think Unrivaled might provide to a certain extent when they open up.
except
to a
Unrivaled
bigger
is all
market.
stars too.
But yeah, but if you open up to multiple markets, the way that they talking about, then you might have to do things like the Big Three did.
Yeah, but I don't know for sure that they're thinking about the expansion to multiple markets in the way that you're thinking about the expansion
You
to
thinking
multiple
because
markets.
you said it's based on rotating the market.
I think that's what it's gonna be.
But what happens is, you do or don't get WNBA talent, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we live in a viral age. If somebody is going crazy that didn't make it to the W and you're paying more than the W significantly, which Unrivaled is, right?
Yeah.
In a shorter amount of time, right?
Yeah.
Some of them players coming, Kay. They coming. It's like if this would have been 2001, 2002, and one would have made it to the league. And not that they would have been efficient, but you would have got them into the feeder league, and then you would have got a couple that was superior that would have made it to the big league. We only got Skip to Malou. We only got Ray Froston out of that.
I still don't see how a league that pays more than WNBA would become a feeder league, though. That's why
because it wouldn't be
losing
it wouldn't be the intention. The intention would be to bring a superstar to our league that we can pay and possibly play less than the rest of the stars we got in the league, right? Because they're not on the same platform, but they might be a monster at anything. At anything. It might be a hell of a dribbler, ball handler, and facilitator. It might be a great shooter. It might be somebody that actually can dunk that bitch and she 5'8".
I think because of the ethos of the league itself, they're not going to be targeting unseen players in that same way. It
wouldn't be unseen because she would already have 5 million views on TikTok on one video.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the market value of it, right? When we're promoting a new league, if somebody has 5 million views on one video of her breaking somebody down and whatever, shooting from deep or going to the rack in superb fashion, and she was in a draft, but she didn't get drafted, or she wasn't eligible because of whatever have you, because you got to be in college so long, you got to be a certain age to go to the WNBA.
Mm-hmm.
She might just go Unrivaled till she get there. And she might get there through going Unrivaled. That's what I'm saying. It wouldn't be their intention. They wouldn't be a feeder league, but they would wind up in that position because we're in a exasperative environment now.
Yeah. I mean, I hear you.
You don't like it.
I just
you
don't
just
agree.
Don't like it.
No, it's not that I don't like it. I just don't think that's going to happen.
I think that you'll get 1 or 2, yo.
I don't think... So, let me be very clear. I don't think that any of the rookies from this draft that didn't end up on squads are going to end up in Unrivaled.
What about the girl that didn't declare for the draft that just randomly went viral, right? And Unrivaled is on his way. You don't think that they would give her a tryout? A workout? And if she performed at a high level, you don't think she could earn herself a spot on the bench as one of them teams? And
She could get into the reserve pool.
This is what I'm telling you.
The reserve pool,
We
sure.
live in an age of a transfer portal. That shit like Back to the Future.
But
Like, I can just decide tomorrow, yo, take this sweatsuit, I'm out.
I still think that there's so much untapped talent from the W that's not in Unrivaled yet that still plays overseas that could probably get the same amount of money playing in Unrivaled.
Maybe I'm just looking at a bigger map than you are for Unrivaled. Maybe I just am more optimistic at this point than you are about what's bound to happen. Because at the end of the day, you're still competing against men's sports. So if somebody is getting eyes via, i.e. Caitlin Clark, and didn't take the Caitlin Clark route, they're going to get a chance to play against Caitlin Clark at some point. Does that make sense?
No, I hear you.
Like, that's what's happening nowadays. People are getting a look. We just saw a girl in the All-Star game shooting against Steph Curry. And then the next year they asked Caitlyn to do it. And she almost won. And Caitlyn turned it down. Look what's going on right now. It's sensationalized. I don't think it would put a blemish to put a great or a superior athlete and unrivaled that didn't come from the WNBA. I think that's weird to think.
I just think it's not going to happen because there's so much existing talent that has not been tapped yet.
But
That's all I'm saying.
But Unrivaled has never made their mantra to get all their talent from the WNBA. They've never said that.
No, but they're a players' league that's meant to assist
Give
folks.
other players an outlet, but that is based on everybody's situation.
All right, we can agree to disagree. It's okay.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you. I think you're going to see it. You're going to get a Scooby-Doo in there.
All right.
You too young to know about Scooby-Doo.
Why don't you round them out and tell them what's going on? Last topic.
Remy and Pat. This should be a take me out the group chat moment.
Yo, that's how I felt this whole time. Like, why do I know this?
But it's been so intriguing. And I think that it started from a lot of the energy surrounding their situation. If you don't know what's been going on with Remy and Pat, for the last few years, if you pay attention to battle rap, we've known that Remy has been with this guy from battle rap that's from Philadelphia, in quotes, named Easy the Block Captain. And it's been kind of obvious for a while. At first it was a rumor, and then it was like, well, you know, if you've been around, you've seen them around, and if you pay attention, they was at the Super Bowl together, and like, you know, that restaurant picture looked a little cozy. Or if you watch the news in New York clip that I watched, you could see how she was looking at him when he was talking, which was way before the speculation that I pointed that out. True or false?
True.
Like, I seen it then. I'm like, why is she looking at him like that? Yo, like, no, that's crazy. But anyway, since then, things have transpired, and Easy has gone viral multiple times because he's battled people that have referenced Remy. Most notably, when Geechee Gotti did it, and he spoke directly to Remy because she made the mistake of standing in the middle of the stage. Since then, she's not done that, and Easy has admitted that he's told her not to stand there because he doesn't want her to give them that leverage. But whatever, there's been a lot going on in battle rap when it pertains to
She's still the league owner. Like,
but some of it goes viral. Now, we finally have a time where everybody is, quote unquote, admitting to everything. Right?
mm-hmm.
Stop chewing in the mic like that. Remy goes live. Well, before that, right? Papoose pops up with Clarissa Shields. And you can say what you want to say about how Clarissa Shields looked 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 3 years ago.
She look good now.
She looks great now, and she is one of the baddest motherfuckers on the planet. If she was a man, she would be the toughest mother. Whatever whatever they give those accolades that they always give you, the strongest man on the planet and all of that. She would be that, right?
Sexiest man alive, you mean?
And then that too. No, like both of those. Like she would get the athletic prowess because she got all the belts, right? How many belts she got? 8 of them. Like
something like 12 or something.
She tearing shit up. And then on top of that, she's sexy and she carrying it and she's getting her personality together. She's being honest about that. She'll tell you she was rough around the edges and she come from a fighting family. But she put a movie out last year at Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So this whole time now we like, okay, Papoose with Clarissa. He like women that like violence. We dig it. And when he started out with Remy, she was rough around the edges.
Yeah.
A lot of that hair wasn't looking like it was supposed to be looking, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things. So since then, now we get this last week or two where Remy decides to go live in a response to what Clarissa said on the Breakfast Club. And this is another example of, one, people watching clips. If you famous and somebody mentions you in the clip, make it your business to watch the whole interview before you respond. Can I say that? Does that make sense?
You could say it.
But does that make sense?
I think so.
So what happens is, in the clip, you can see that she only saw the clip because the clip starts with the elephant in the room. What you don't realize is, 5 minutes before the clip started, she said, well, Pap has some things he needs to handle, as everybody knows or whatever, but that has nothing to do with me.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go 5 minutes later, and Charlamagne says, well, you said Pap had some stuff to handle. What was you referring to? And he knows what he's doing. But it sounds innocent when he says it. He killed that. I ain't gonna lie. I know the business. I know that I've been on his microphone for a long time. I know what he did. And she said, no, he has some things, you know, in his personal, it's not my place to speak on, but it's the elephant in the room. So I don't have to say what it is, but, you know, he has to handle that.
Mm-hmm.
What else is a woman that's dealing with a man that's going through a divorce supposed to do to tell you that I'm not speaking on that, but we know what it is, man. We on Breakfast Club.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
She saw that and took that as a don't speak on me moment. Let me air everything out.
Which was crazy.
And then tried to speak to the fact that Pap doesn't see his children. Which made Pap get on live, which who the hell ever benefited from being on live? But anyway, he went on live and decided to air out everything from his side with the excuse that he kept repeating of, or the reason of, because excuses and reasons are a blurry line, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of, don't speak about me and my children, I'm a good father. So once you say that I'm being a bad father, I have the right to say what I want to say, and now I'm going to say whatever I want to say. And that's a dangerous line as a man, especially as a public figure. Very dangerous. And Papoose is very talented, very intelligent, and very wise. And I thought that that was a misstep. And part of the reason that his live kept getting messed up, because they both did lives, his phone blew up so much that he had to keep restarting his live.
I bet.
Because a lot of people was looking at it and was like, well, nigga, no, not you. No, you ain't that. No, let her do, you know what I mean?
Let
and
her
since
be messy.
then, in the mix of all of this, we found out a lot more about the situation between him and Easy the Block Captain. We find out that he, according to sources and people that responded after he said it, he knocked Easy out. And Easy was laid out. He ran out the room, seen Jack Boy, and said, who next? Who else want to get knocked out? That's what I do. I knock niggas out. And Jack Boy said, I just want to know who got knocked out. And then he said something that we kind of heard before. Whole lot of people from the city ran to the trunk. You know what I mean? And nothing happened. Which is only relevant because so many lies have been surrounding it. Whether it's how Remy handled it, whether it's how she told Pap to be silent about it, whether it's how Easy handled it. They lied a bunch about all of this stuff. I don't know. I got this for it. Where we at? What you think?
What do I think? I think this is messy.
Since you've been chewing in the mic for the last 15 minutes.
I'm sorry.
With your ad-libs and the french fries. I don't know what you're doing.
It's messy.
What do you... But, like, is... You know how much they've been using the Remy angle on Easy? Now we know the whole story.
But I don't feel like we found anything new out.
I feel like once things are confirmed, then I have more license to use them.
Okay, but...
And I could be more creative because now I've been given more words to create with.
But it's not like anything was disproved or like... It was quite the opposite. Like,
and
things
they
were
clearly
confirmed.
still together. He's in the one live with her talking in the background, and then she posted a bunch of pictures with him right after that.
Which, honestly, this whole thing makes Easy look the craziest to me. Now, maybe this is a hot take, but you're with a woman who is going through a very public thing, right? Cool.
Divorce.
You insert yourself into it on these lives.
Yep.
Making these comments, doing these ad libs. You know what you're doing. And this is the same person who got knocked out by the husband? And you're a battle rapper, so like this is constantly going to be brought up. And Remy was just at the basketball game with who?
Millie's.
It wasn't you, Easy.
And they put up all the photos when she said she wasn't connected to Millie's. They put up all the pictures of her with Millie's. At the party, hand on the lap, all type of stuff. It was crazy. And that's what I'm talking about.
So, all this tells me is, yes, Easy, you've been sleeping with Remy. Yes, Easy, you got knocked out by Pat. Yes, Easy, you're still a side boo. Yes, Easy, you're still not getting those courtside tickets.
I ain't gonna lie.
What are you, like,
If my now is publicly crashing out on her ex, even if I know y'all got a situation, I'm uncomfortable.
I don't want to be a part of that.
The only way I feel like it makes sense is that being with Remy is such of a profile booster, especially for a battle rapper. And I'm not trying to take none away from that man as a man and what he could have possibly did on his own. But he's spoken to, and Geechee has spoken to, how much traction this topic picks up that's outside of battle rap. What platforms pick it up, what interviews they get, what offers they get for interviews. They all spoken to it, right? So let's be honest. He's just riding a wave. They was in a mall when they was on live.
Yeah, but there's nothing player about riding the wave. Like, this is a messy ass wave to be on.
But Easy has never struck me or you as somebody that was of a certain cloth either, right? And then on top of that, she put out that he supposedly has an 8.5 credit score and a
wait, what?
850 credit score. I'm sorry, 850. I've been drinking.
I was gonna say 8.5.
850 credit score and makes 50,000 a battle is what she supposedly said.
That man does not have an 850 credit score.
That's
I can tell you that right now.
Well, you know, Anwar helped him buy a house.
Okay.
And Anwar goes to my homies for the haircut. I just seen him on their page. But yeah, Unified Barbershop.
And I'm sure Easy has well enough credit to buy a house. But he doesn't have an 850 credit score. Like,
she said he has 850 and he gets 50,000 in battle. That's what she said. I'm just telling you what she said.
You know how many people in the world have an 850 credit score?
I just told you what she said about him. Now, mind you,
she's known to lie.
A couple people looked them up and they were debunking it, but they were debunking it based on stuff that's like nobody was a professional. Like, I think some of them was getting their numbers from his YouTube income. So it got weird. But it's the internet.
I mean, if she's paying him, he might make 50K a battle.
He said, I got 2 leagues I run, and I got my other things that y'all know about, and some other stuff y'all don't.
But I'm sorry, the 850 credit score, like, no, you don't.
I don't believe it either, but I don't want to hate on nobody's numbers, man. If he got it, maybe he got a hell of a adjuster or somebody that he did business with and been doing it with for like maybe the last 5 years or so, since he's been making his, his progression.
Or maybe he had somebody put together a fraudulent credit report for him because literally nobody has an 850 credit score.
Maybe she said 820.
820, I would be like, okay, that's fine.
I think she said 820.
But if the word is 850, like,
No, I think
literally
no.
no.
I think it was 820. That's my bad.
Okay.
820.
I won't argue as hard then. 820, okay,
820.
maybe.
820.
Maybe.
My bad. I just be exaggerating sometimes. But no,
'Cause
once you got so
850
animated about it, I'm like, all right, I think it was 820.
The scale literally goes to 850. So, like, having a 0 credit score and having an 850 credit score are...
No, I almost said
statistically
820,
extremely
but I was
improbable.
like, let me just go for the whatever because I wasn't sure. But I think it was 820.
Yeah.
But she claimed that and all of that, and that became a thing. So it's like, if they happy, they happy. But it feel like some weird rebound shit. 'Cause
It feels
y'all
like
still
they're
going so hard at
not.
each other. Y'all still going hard at each other.
Well, and like you've been with Easy for this is the underlying thing from this entire conversation is she's saying that Pap wouldn't sign the papers. Pap posts on social media that he filed his own papers and Remy had been hitting him up trying to get him back the next day or the day before. So like this whole like, oh, we're separated, we're getting a divorce, but we're trying to do it privately, but we're not signing the papers, but we're maybe still talking, but we might still be having sex, but we're definitely still sleeping in the same bed. Like, it's all of this messiness that, one, I don't need to know anything about, but two, Easy, it makes you look crazy. It makes you look weak. Like, it doesn't look good.
But it makes Remy look crazy because Pat plays the audio of Easy saying, no matter how this go, it works in my favor. I got footage, I got video, I got all type of shit. And then you get her saying, Pat, why did you hit him? Now that you put your hands on him, I gotta stay close to him so he don't do no funny shit against you or me. How does any of that make sense?
No, Remy looks stupid. Remy
She looks jealous.
stupid.
I feel like she saw another clip that she's not acknowledging when Clarissa was talking about being 30-something and ready to start a family.
Yeah.
And that hit hard.
Yeah,
I think
it
that
did.
she's just not acknowledging that. Because she want to act like she done with him. She told everybody he pawned poos, he pawning my jewelry and all of this nonsense. And it's like, whether that's true or false, that's still the man that held you down. And that's still the man that you ran around here talking great things about. Don't make yourself look like you just lied to the public while you lying to the public.
That's the other thing I don't like. Like, why does it always come back to, like, what happened when you were in jail? And I get it. Like, yes, you are seen as the symbol of black love because he held you down, whatever. You want to, like, tarnish his image in that sense. So you talk about how he was doing this, that, and the third while you were in jail. Bitch, you were locked up. For, what, 6 years, 10 months?
Of a 9-year sentence or something like that.
Yeah, like, you don't get to talk. He married you right before you went in. You knew what it was.
And you said that in your explanation. I know how it go, but
You knew what it was. And you were like, all right, I'm going to accept what it is. And then when I get out, we're going to act like everything's cool. And then we're going to have this baby. And then slowly things are going to deteriorate. That's what happened.
now she acting like you forced the baby on her.
That's crazy.
Because she like, he kept trying to have a child. Like, y'all talked about this baby. Y'all called it the golden child.
Right.
To the point that people asked y'all how your other children feel about that.
Right.
That's crazy. And I'm sure that this young woman is brilliant.
And
Because we see a lot of stars that are dope people have brilliant little babies. They
Not
put
for
them
nothing.
in good schools to excel. It's nice.
your child is 8 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
Have you dropped an album? Have you dropped an album? Because if your whole argument is that, oh, Pap wanted to have a family, so I had to take a back seat, and I had to do this, that, and the third, and now I'm out here being a single, like,
But you built a battle
you've
league.
had 8 years. You built a battle league for some side dude.
No, you built it for females and realized it wasn't successful, so you needed expertise from your dude.
And then made it for your side dude. Like, don't diminish my point, Sammie.
No, you good. That was just the second part. And then she overpaid everybody, and Pep spoke to that.
And she still built a league for her side dude because what the fuck is trenches?
Oh. I was still talking about hers.
I was talking about his.
You funny, you messy.
I'm saying the truth. Like, instead of investing time into her own career, her own future, her own lines of business, she divested herself,
No,
spread herself very thin,
no. I got the answer.
and invested into him.
Pep said he wrote 90% of the stuff that she had when he was with her. So if they beefing, how we working on an album? That's what I'm saying.
I think we could leave it there.
I don't know if you heard what I'm saying.
I
She
heard you.
told us months ago. He's going to say he wrote my shit. Oh, what happened?
I haven't heard her. Has she acknowledged that line part of it?
She said that, yeah, because when it got crazy, everybody was saying, I don't even care about all that. I really care about the fact that he was ghostwriting all that shit.
Right.
And she was like, he ain't writing my... You know, she said what she said. But I believe 90% might be an exaggeration. Because Remy can rap. She also came up with the Pun, who everybody keeps talking about what Pun did and didn't do as far as their writing. But Pun did a lot for the whole camp.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I'm going to say about that. So, sometimes it's not even about the writing. Sometimes it's about your presence on the track, right? Sometimes it's about taking those 3 words out, right? Sometimes it's about breathing at a certain point. It's about swagging at a certain point. Like, motherfuckers have understanding of this music that you would never know. That you love a song because of the simplest bullshit. That somebody that knew how you would take it said, you know what? Usually I wouldn't do this, but this will make them do that.
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrong?
No.
And I think Remy benefits from that a lot. Whether it's complete writing or just any of those other factors that comes into making a universal record. And I'm not trying to take anything away from her pen, but you kind of see how her and Joe tell their stories. And it makes you say, yeah, but.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Lots of yeah, but.
A lot of yeah, but. So, you know, it is what it is, man. I wish them the best. I think Easy makes it look weird. Just because as a man, he carries certain things in a way that's just... If you would have handled this a certain way, you could have came out on a complete top of it, but you weren't patient, and you jumped out there, and you gave everybody ammo to drag this out.
Yep.
And now, it might have still came back up, but you wouldn't still be in the same light, because they wouldn't have so many clips to refer to of you doing something or saying something that's the opposite of what the people that was in the building saw. It is what it is.
All right. We spent way too much time on Remy and Pep.
We out of here.
Yeah. NBA is on.
It's my birthday.
That part.
What we doing?
Getting the fuck out of here.
Alright, y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. Hell of a stream. Great time. Shout out to Noah. You know what I'm saying? But, we be around. Be around more often a little bit. Y'all don't even know it. I ain't make that announcement yet. We out, man.
Sippin', I'm sippin', I'm sippin', I'm sippin'.